Welcome to You Grievin the Podcast. And with me today is Coach Mimi. So we need to get into Coach Mimi. Coach Mimi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I am well. And I met you at Big Sexy's birthday party here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Being a
And there was a
business.
lot of vendors. Did you get a lot of traffic during the event or at that event?
Yeah, I really did. I really did. Like I said, it was really good for branding and exposure for my business. So no complaints there. No complaints. It turned out to be pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. So we were about to leave, or like we were getting ready to just do something, like about to do something. I don't know what we're doing. But I stood up, and when I saw you, I went like this. Tunnel vision. I was like, mental health. That's the booth I need to be at. And I just walked straight
Yeah.
to you. My friend was with me, and I just walked away from him. Like I ain't even say. And I believe I went up to your son.
Yes, I have my 18-year-old working the booth with me. Yep.
I went up to him and I said, "Who runs this?" And he was like, "My mom, she's over there." I said, "Can I talk to her?" He was like, "Yes." And I didn't realize you were talking to Shay Johnson. So your son came and interrupted you.
He do not care. He don't care who a person is. They don't care. And he's like, they know Blacktion is my heart. So they like, you need to come over here.
Yes. So I looked at you and I was like, I could wait a minute.
Because he didn't care. I mean, and my mom was like starstruck at the time when she seen her. So it was
Yes.
a whole lot going on.
And you could tell where my mind was because I didn't even think I said hi to Shay. And I should have, but I just was so in the zone, like, oh, I gotta talk about this real quick. Oh my goodness. So thank you for allowing me to have this book and speaking with me.
Ooh. What you think
Now,
about the book? What that book do for you?
now let me tell you something. Now the book says do not read through ahead. Now I'm that
Uh-huh.
person that's gonna say, "Oh, you telling me
It's
not to
okay.
do
You
this?"
read ahead. You read
In the
ahead.
questions, let me just open up one. So for the people that don't know,
Get
okay,
your
this is a workbook.
get your shit together, y'all.
Get your shit together. Wait a minute. The Blacktion Plan Personal Development Workbook.
Period. Period. It was heavy. Look, what it do? What the questions do? What they say?
Now
What they make
I
you
did
feel?
not complete the workbook yet. Okay,
But
because
the questions.
I was like, wait a minute, I can't do this yet.
I told you. I told you. Don't be playing around with that book right there.
But the first book is, I mean, not the first book, but the first question as soon as you open it is before you get started, what are 3 things you would like to accomplish over the next month? That's already heavy.
Period. We getting into it.
Because
That book gonna get you there. He said. Yeah, that book got people taking deep, heavy breaths, baby.
baby, and like I've been moving since the last time I saw you. Like I haven't really stopped. So this book is gonna stop me.
It's gonna stop you dead in your tracks. Yep. To a
What
screeching
would it what would it look like to fully embody those words every day, even on the hard days? Like it's intense and it's gonna make you sit with
Ooh,
yourself. It's gonna make you sit with yourself. So
period.
first off, the Blacktion, the name like just has me. Blacktion. How did you come up with that?
Blacktion. I was trying to figure out like when I started my first business, I was in PR and I named it after my name. So I'm like, it wasn't me though. I feel like I was really heavy into this, trying to be professional. I don't feel like it really embodied who I am. So I'm like thinking, like, what's the name I can name my business that fits who I am? And it's like, I always be telling people about their actions. I'm a planner. I'm very meticulous. So I'm like, ooh, action, action. And I'm like, Blacktion, like for Black people, like, oh man. And it just hit me. And I'm like, oh, plan, because people need to have a plan. And it really just, it's took off ever since. So Blacktion Plan.
I love the name. I was like Blacktion, and I've been saying it like
Blacktion.
Blacktion
Yeah,
action.
because you gotta put some blacktion in your actions. Yes. Because black people, we don't be like fully ourselves. And when we're not fully ourselves, we can't be
Yes.
who we want to be. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta put some blacktion in your action for real.
Yeah, being fully ourselves is it's challenging. So specific to the culture,
Specific to the culture. Like, what does Blacktion Plan do specific to the culture?
why specifically for the culture?
Because like I don't feel like this, but I know like as black and brown people, we have a unique experience in the world. We just do, and oftentimes that experience isn't catered to, especially as it relates to our mental health. You got to think what traditional therapy is. When you go to a therapist, they want you to be your best self. They want you to have or strive to have the ultimate control over your environment, and be aware of your environments, and to stay away from negativity. But that's crazy because a lot of us as black and brown people, we were born into that shit. So how are we supposed to get away from the very thing that sometimes makes us who we are? So it's like, how can black people be their best self without following the narrative that's given to us? Because that's not us. That's not us. I done went to college, was going to school for that. That's not us. Some of us is born into the hood off the rip. You got, like, I used to work in the hospital. Some babies don't even have a car seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so deep and so real for us. And we just need some real shit, something that speaks to us, whatever that may look like, whatever that may be. And so I'm like, I want to be the person to do that. I'm tired of I'm a professional. So when you in corporate America, that is just irky sometimes. You got to be professional. You got to talk a certain type of way. So it's like, I'm like, this next business is going to be for the culture. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. And that's just that's what that is. And I find where a lot of black people are getting to that point. The generations up under us, like my 18-year-old, they're not even finna go through the phases where we went through of having to code switch and switch up. They are determined to be authentic. So we need to start, having something that's really real and that's really for us and not watered down. So that's what my mindset was going in. Like, this gonna be for us for real.
I love that. It's definitely needed for us. Have you noticed that more of us are recognizing the stuff, what's in your workbook, or just in general, our mental health? Like, have you noticed that?
I have noticed where more of us are starting to have conversations, and the conversations are great. I've noticed where we like to have those conversations in a certain type of way because become masters at selectively putting things in the closet and sweeping things nicely under the rug. So a lot of us are starting to have those conversations, in a way that keeps us safe. Yes, which is a good start. But then you have that group of people as well who are like, you know what, bump the conversation. I know I messed up. What do I do about it? So I see a lot of us want to do the work, wanting to break generational curses and wanting to really build generational wealth. And I think that book is going to help for those that want to build generational wealth, because until you break the curses, you're not going to be able to get to the wealth, because that curse is going to always show up at the worst time and slap you in the face. Right as you finna get to that last step, here come that curse, that bad habit, that thing, that boy, that girl. And we all know it's true. So how do we fight ourselves to stop doing the stuff that we don't need to do, but it comes so easy for us to do it?
There's some goodbyes within that. There are definitely some goodbyes. I wrote down something just a few moments ago before we started. I was scrolling through Instagram, and there was a post with Cynthia Erivo to where she's doing this thing now where she's on the phone. And the first thing she says is, human beings are not good at saying goodbye, even when we're meant to. And I think that's just across the board with everything: generational curses, relationships, the passing of someone. Like, goodbye is the main thing us humans, like, that's a part of our life. And it's like one of the hardest things We do.
It I think it's rooted in trauma though. Like I think that when you're not taught like the power of your mind and then even how the mind works and then how the mind responds to things and you're not given the tools to know and understand yourself, that's what makes saying goodbye hard. I think it's just a lack of understanding across the board. Again, because we've been born into such chaos and we do live in such a chaotic world. We live in a chaotic society. We're constantly being triggered by our lowest desires. So goodbye, it's like I can have what I want and have it now. I have it all the time. So what is goodbye? So I think it takes for people to start thinking. A lot of us are just on autopilot. We just going and doing as we've always done. But like you say, we need to stop and sit with ourselves so we can start accomplishing some things, you know what I'm saying? And have the capacity to say goodbye and still be whole and still be free, So you don't know how to do it until you taught how to do it. If nobody taught you how to do it, then it's like you better learn, but you stay in the same cycle and be stuck and unhappy and miserable, not successful, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's a whole word.
Is that
That is a word. Okay.
it's so deep and so real. I see it every day, like just and it's rooted in trauma. I'm telling you, it's rooted in trauma, and a lot of that's the hardest thing to accept, because if we say goodbye to our sometimes lowest desire, or we say goodbye to something that's unhealthy, that unhealthy thing could be attached to our mama, and then we gotta in our mind say goodbye to a form of our mother, or it's like, do we cut my mama? Do I cut my mama off? Do I not deal? How do I now deal with this goodbye, knowing that my mama is part of this goodbye? Like, it's a crazy reality to be in, Don't have anybody help you navigate that. It's easier to just become delusional and never say goodbye and justify why it's not okay.
And that's what people are doing.
That's what they're doing. It's a mind trick. We manipulating ourselves at this point, and the
Ooh.
world just creates the space for us to do that.
It's easier that way.
Until it's not. It's easier until it's not. That's what I'm trying to do. We have to realize, like, these things are only temporary fixes, So once a person realizes, like, you're in a cycle, I have clients that are in a cycle from year after year. I can now say to some of my clients, like, I know y'all by now as a marriage, and every year around this time, y'all do the same thing. I document it. I can show you my notes from last year. It's a cycle. It's a pattern at this point. How do you break it? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to say goodbye to? What are you willing to stop? What are you willing to change or adjust? Especially as Black people, we don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. How you grieving?
How you grieving? What is it that Coach Mimi does? Who is Coach Mimi?
I like to tell people, I was doing a vendor event and I was telling people, like, I'm a retired crash out. Like, that's who Coach Mimi is. Like, what? Because and I start with that because it's like I'm a person of balance. I don't believe in perfection because I wasn't born into perfection. I was born into chaos. I experienced abuse of many forms before I was 16 years old. You know what I mean? So I've been homeless. I've gone through things. I've learned how to navigate those things. Part of the things that helps me to navigate is, like, I'm true to my feelings. If I feel something, I'm gonna feel it. If somebody makes me mad, I'm standing on what I'm standing on within reason, but I'm not afraid to take it there. And I think that's something that we can all like resonate with as Black people. Like, we'll go. Oh, you want to take me there? Forget it. I'm going. I'm that. Like, I will go, let you go 0 to 100 and have me messed up 100 times on purpose so I can reason with you and talk to you. But once we get to 101, let's go to war. Because at this point, some of us in the Black community, they don't respect anything but violence and chaos. So you want to go to 101? Let's go. And how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to still be calm about it. So, like me, I'm a person, I face everything head on. I address things. If I feel something, I'm going to say something. I have 4 children. So 3 of them are boys. I definitely don't want my boys to grow up and think it's okay to suppress and sweep like a lot of Black men do. You know what I mean? I don't want my daughter to be emotionally unintelligent to where she's just crashing out because she lacks the intelligence to identify with what she feels. So I'm balanced, I'm balanced. I'm a Black girl. I'm in a Black family. I got baby daddies. And, if somebody pushes me the right way, I'm going to be pushed. But I'm willing to have a conversation about it, because you can't just poke the beast and then when the beast come, you like, oh, you're a beast. Well, no, I talked to you 100 times before I beasted up on you. You see what I'm saying? So that's who I am. And I'm happy about it. People will then be like, well, are you proud with the way you reacted? It wasn't a reaction. It was a really premeditated response. Because at 90, I told you got 10 more times. And you took the 10. So we got to 101. And now we can sit and have a conversation about it. And I feel really good. That's what a lot of people can't handle about me. I feel great about it. I will be nice or I will nice, whatever, and oftentimes when I'm in practice, I tell people that you're in a marriage where your wife or your husband just poking. You don't have a crazy bone. Sometimes we got to exercise the crazy bone as Black people strategically. It's just the truth. We all know it is.
Exercise the crazy bone strategically.
Strategically, it's all about strategy. I'm a woman of strategy. I can't tell a Black person not to crash out. I don't know they could be in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Females these days are very aggressive. Will come like, my man. You can't do anything like Black women are hella aggressive. Black men are hella aggressive. If you don't got some dog in you as a Black person, you're going to get eaten out here in the world. So what's the strategy? You better have some crazy in you, and you better know how to pull that crazy card. Pay attention to your surroundings, see what's going on. But if you got to pull that crazy card, I don't know what the circumstances are where you may have to pull it,
Y'all heard it live from Coach Mimi. Pull your crazy card when necessary.
Yeah, when necessary, strategically. Otherwise, it's going to drive you crazy, because this will happen. Somebody going to have you messed up. You're going to be like, oh, let me not go crazy. That whole week, you're going to be like, oh, I should have cussed theirs. I should have did this. I should have did that. Oh, and you're going to be mad at yourself for the whole week, all because you didn't pull the crazy card when you had every right to pull the crazy card. I need my whole week, baby. I'm pulling a crazy card. And then now my week going to be like, I told him not to get me to 100. I remember at 80, I tried to reason with him, God. I gave him 80, 81, 82. Now I'm talking to God like, God, I tried. I gave him 100 times. Pulled it. Now I'm going to have a good week. I ain't going to be mad at myself. You know what I mean? You have to save yourself. Like, you have to save yourself in this world. How else are you going to do it? What's the balance? If people are going to poke at you and then make you the issue when you blow up, and then you don't be the issue because you let them gaslight you to believe that you are the issue. So now you're confused all week because somebody played with you, then gaslighted you. That is what make people need therapy versus just being like, you know what? F it. Let's play. Because you're not going to stop.
Whew.
You got a crazy card you need to pull. I can tell.
It's not about me today.
Somebody out there needs to pull that crazy card for real. Pull that card. Go ahead.
Look, if whoever is listening, you pull your crazy card, I'll pull mine. Okay.
This, as long as you pull it with this strategy, it have to be strategic. You need to think about it, because by the 10th time they got you messed up, now you see, okay, they got you messed up. Give them to 100. Give them 100 times, so that way when you pull that crazy card, you're gonna know exactly how to pull it. Because then they're gonna gaslight you anyway. See how you pulled the crazy card? See, you crazy. Nah, remember I told you on time 25 that I was gonna pull this card? I told you exactly what I was gonna do if you let me get to 100. So no, I pulled it, and now I'm gonna talk to you about it, because on 25, 26, 27, and then at 80, I started begging you. I begged you once you got to 80, please don't make me pull my crazy card. By the time we get to 90, I'm reminding people, remember, y'all know I can go crazy. So why are we still here? Hello? So, baby, by the time people get me to 100, they can't do nothing at that point, because it's like, y'all know that the girl is who she is. That's who I am. Do people like it? No. People don't like it. But here's the thing about Black people. I believe this: the Black people that are willing to take it there, we have the biggest hearts. So while I'll pull a crazy car, and these same people that I gotta go crazy on will need help within a couple hours. I'm gonna help them. Y'all know I love y'all. I just had to go crazy because y'all weird. You know what I mean? It's no love lost. So I'm balanced by still not taking my love away and showing up and being a family member. You know what I mean? Or being a friend or whatever that role is that I need to play. But I'm not gonna let nobody play with me. I would never, you know what I'm saying, encourage anybody to let somebody play with them, gaslight them, manipulate them, disregard them, minimize them, you know, all the things that's done in families. And then they'll look at you like you the problem. No, you can't do me like that. So you have to have a strategy. I'm a strategic woman, very heavy on it. It make people mad when they get me to 100 and I start talking to them about how, y'all know, and I'm very petty with it too. I'm very petty with my strategy because I'm very petty with it. Very petty. I'm up all hours of the morning. So the kids do something, that's my go-to. 5 a.m., waking everybody up, asking questions. Real calm. Hey, y'all, children. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
So
So when did you realize that that you needed to start this type of work?
oh my gosh, when I was doing PR, when I started doing PR, it was always for Black people. And then I'm like, okay, I won't do PR marketing no more because a lot of them aren't ready. They businesses still, the foundation isn't solid or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll take my knowledge and I'll be a business coach. When I got into business coaching, it was different from PR because I was doing one-on-one sessions on Zoom and I'm helping them build their business. It would never fail. I'm getting all these business owners and and people started saying like, girl, I feel so comfortable with you. Oh Lord. And they start telling me all their business. And I'm like, we supposed to be building your Black owned business, not your personal business. And it really started frustrating me, I'll be honest. Like, because in my mind, I'm laser focused on trying to build their business. So I'm frustrated, like, dang, God, why everybody want to tell me their personal business? I don't want to talk to people about that. Like, I have my own personal business. And it's like the Lord told me, like, you need to be a life coach. And then I seen this a certification online. I took the certification, and that's been more fulfilling too. Because it's like, okay, sit and tell me your business. Then I don't have to be frustrated and people are comfortable. I feel more it's like I'm walking in purpose this way versus just like it being about financial gain. So here we are, 6 years and counting.
Wow, 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excuse me. So, there's a part of this podcast where we have to shift.
Okay.
So here's the shift.
Okay.
How you grieving?
I'm grieving out loud. My brother, may he rest in peace. Look, actually, I'm gonna show you. This is my brother, and he fine. He fine, baby. It's my big brother. Yeah, my brother fine. Shout out happy Father's Day to my brother. He passed 3 days after my birthday last year. And I believe everything is spiritual anyway. It's hard. Some days are harder than others, but here's the thing. Me and my brother had a tumultuous relationship 2 years apart. So we stay arguing over I'm just a petty little sister. So this is why, and this is true. When you say how I'm grieving, I think what makes grieving hard for some people is the fact that they don't like do the work while that person is alive, or they miss things. I'm so proud of myself for not missing things. Like, I had moved to a different state, but like that year, it's like God knew I needed to be back in Oklahoma with my family. He cussed me out a few little times, yeah, but I didn't pay it any mind. Like, I got to the point where it's like, okay, nigga, you got 100 times. Okay, he didn't get to 100, so we hung out. We created memories. We had really, really good times, and then I ended up moving here to Atlanta. Within not even a year of us being here, he passed. But while he was here, we did the work. I have text messages of us being like, we don't get along, but we're gonna work this out. Like both of us putting in the work, like we have to get to know each other again. Like we gotta figure this out. So that for me helps me grieve a lot better. The hardest part of the grief is that we've inherited his baby mama who was just ignorant, but other than that, he would want for us to move on. He was one of them men, like when it's his time to die, it's his time to die, so it's almost like, don't you be down here with somebody like that. Like it's like he'll come and get you in spirit. Don't you be trying to like be all sad or be whatever, because death is a part of life, you know what I mean? So if anything, it's made me go harder. It's made me be more bolder with my messaging about Blacktion Plan and how Black people, we have to resolve our conflicts. We have to deal with these things, because I'm a living testimony of it. And anybody that knows, like me and my brother, like my sister used to even say that people don't get in our arguments no more, because we will be arguing one day and the next day be chilling on the porch like ain't nothing happened. Like, hey, y'all. That's just what it was between me and him. Our text messages will show you like, we cool. Hey, bro, the next time is, oh, you're mad. Ha ha. You're just the brat. You're just being the bratty little, big brother. Like it was a raw, authentic relationship. And I don't think many people have that. So, I'm grieving out loud, and I'm grieving being proud of the woman I am, because there were times throughout that year where I could have been like, you know what? F you, and I could have been mad at him for cussing me out, but it's like, I'm not going to take you seriously because life is too short, whatever. So it's not easy. But then again, it's not all that hard because of the balance in it all. I got our text messages. I keep his obituary here. I have him a little place set up on my, my wall. I constantly go through our messages. And, it just put life into perspective. And by the grace of God, I was able to take, have precious moments with him and be intentional about that, no matter what. So, shout out to me. I know a lot of people can't say that, but that's why I would say you better quit playing. And I'm going to like maybe do something where I release the text messages so people can see like we were insane. Like it's insane how we would be up and down. But I got pictures of me and him together. So like,
wow.
Yeah. So my grief is grief, but it's not taking a toll on me. Like I do see it take a toll on a lot of other people. And then also my brother was like me, he a man version, so we talk a lot of noise. Like, so you almost would have a guilty conscience grieving about somebody like him, because I got a video of him too. Insane, like very strong opinions. Don't cry when I die. Like, so you just have to take the good. For somebody, you have to take the good. For somebody like him, you have to take the good. And that's just what I've been doing, And I got footage of him that year because he has very interesting perspectives. So going and seeing that footage and just seeing how, intentional I was about being around my whole family. Because I'm like, I had been gone for so long and got away from my family. So I'm like, let me be intentional about just accepting everybody's crazy. That's what worked for me. And things happen, like, we got into it, but I don't take it serious. Because again, I'm real crazy. So I'm gonna let them, they got mad, whatever. I'm in my giving people to 100. They never got to 100. I razzle dazzle with them a little bit, but my life's good. So, I have to count the good things and focus on the good things, focus on the positive, focus on the moments that I intentionally created with him. And that's how I've been grieving. And this is like my first major death ever. And it's 3 days after my birthday too. So now I was even talking to my dad, like, every year, how am I supposed to celebrate my birthday? My daughter's birthday is the day before mine. His birthday is in September. our birthday is in November. Then he passed 3 days after my birthday. So it's like it can. I'm like, is the Lord trying to take me out, or is this, purpose filled pain? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just choose to call it purpose filled pain. And he had an amazing spirit. He had a lot going on within his mental and emotional health too. So everything happened for a reason. Life is life, and that's all I can say. And death is death.
Oof. I like that. I
It's
like
the
that.
truth.
Life is life and death is death.
Yeah, because he dropped dead. He literally just dropped dead. Like, he was having seizures, we knew, but just on a Sunday. His daughter, they were in such close proximity. They were on the phone. She was somewhere and she was getting on an elevator. So she had to hang up with him to get on the elevator. She got on the elevator, got off the elevator, called him back. He didn't answer. So no one had heard from him since. Yep. Yeah. So the story, how it happened, I just really am looking at it like, I think it's deeper than what we even know, because I felt like, am I supposed to be coaching people? Like, I had just got interesting. I was recording a session when I got the news. And so I'm recording a session with one of my male clients, and my sister's blowing me up. And on the video, I still have the video. I'm like, hold on, girl. And soon as I get out the session, I call, and she's like, girl, our brother is dead. I'm like, our brother? You hear me telling my mom, her screaming. Like, it is sad, but I talk about it because it really happened, and it could take us out. If like, I could be sitting here sad, but it's like, I got to keep living. I got to keep going. We have to. He wouldn't want me to just be. And what can I do about it? I can't bring him back.
No. But this is important because I have a lot of these conversations, and a lot of people have been stuck, or some people are like finally getting through 2 years later. But I haven't experienced a conversation with someone, and it's only been almost a year. So that's nice. You're on the right path, and it's interesting realizing that everybody really does grieve differently.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's all about mindset though too. Like, I think it goes back to us having a hard time saying goodbye. Um, I've had so many goodbyes throughout my life. Like, as Black people, I think this is why the workbook is, and this is where the workbook. I had this in the form of a course. That workbook, it was in the form of a course, but since my brother passed, I realized, like, it's some deeper things that just within the family. Like, I've been on a rampage, like, and y'all know my brother, he was the one to tell y'all. That's who I've been in the family. Y'all know my brother died, and if he was here, he would be saying this. So I'm like, in the family, nah, we're gonna address this now, because this is what he was on fire about, and my brother didn't die. Y'all got me messed up. That's what I do be on. That's my grief with the family. Anytime some drama happened, and Tim would have did this, and he would have said that, and nobody want to hear it. And I'm saying it because, like, now let's trigger it, because this is what he used to come and be on fire about. We have to deal with this stuff, because then now he dead, and what everybody just want to be, oh, woe is me. It's not about us when a person dies. Like, it's our own selfishness. Oh, I wish they were here. I want them for my own self. They gone. Why don't we just keep their name alive in a positive way and embrace the new reality, whatever that may look like? Of course, it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? It's super hard, but it has to be done. So that book is like, since my brother passed, I literally sometimes will sit. Let me sit and see what I'm feeling, because he has a common name. I might get a call from somebody with his name. Him and my dad look a lot alike. My 2-year-old was confused at first, thinking that, my dad was my brother, because he hadn't really seen my dad at the time. So there's a lot of different things that can trigger it. So the best thing for me is, like, let me sit with this And even if I gotta sit, intentionally for an hour and just really sit and cry and see what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? So that it's not getting the best of me when I'm trying to be a mama or trying to work. You know what I mean? So you gotta sit with your grief. You
Yeah.
gotta sit with it, and not
Yeah.
from a selfish place of what you want, from the place of the reality that that person is gone. You will never see them again. Not in the flesh
Yeah.
anyway.
I think that's very important for people to hear and for people to do. Like, just with anything, like, you got to sit in your feelings and understand what's going on outside of you. And like, when you sit, you get to experience the inside of you also. And I mean, like,
Mhm.
sit. Don't go light the blunt. Don't pour that drink. Just sit so you are fully aware of what is like physically happening with you. An intentional sit.
I would tell you some people, and that's the thing, and that's why I didn't go to school for therapy. Some people listen. I don't discourage people lighting the blunt and drinking because I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
Sometimes that is what keeps them halfway calm. Some you gotta think like
Hmm.
I don't know what you experience, but I can say like women who've been molested or raped before. That
Hmm.
feeling of not being in control or not wanting to do in that moment when you are being violated and you are like for real helpless, that thought, the mere thought of that, when you have the memory of that, it can like feel you. I done been touching inappropriately. I feel it icky, even just saying this to you right now. Those
Hmm.
feelings will never go away. Like, ugh, like, and then this nigga was a pervert. Like, ew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The feelings don't go away. So sometimes at first, I used to smoke and I used to drink as I would sit with myself because it's like I'm gonna go to this place on purpose, but I don't want to start banging my head up against the wall. I don't know what could happen if I just go sober. I might tweak out because it's hurtful to relive those moments that we actually need to relive. So sometimes might need a little puff in moderation, take a little sip of some wine and go there. But it's hard. Like it's really hard going to those places. Like I wouldn't even be able to go to those places like right now had I not did the work. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
brother, it's been 6 months. It's like been 6 months. So like we're constantly talking about it. I'm constantly sitting with it. If I feel emotional, I'm gonna cry about it because I'm on podcasts, I'm coaching people, like it can take over me. And I'd be like, hold on, I can't do it no more. We still have like a purpose and things we got to do out here in this world. So that's where Blacktion come in. Sitting with yourself, overcoming all the things, and still being your best self, whatever that look like for you. Some people
Wow.
are strong minded enough to smoke and still heal. Some people are strong minded enough to drink and still heal. You know, I've met a lot of different people. Everybody's coping
Hmm.
mechanisms and ways of doing things are different. So as long as you're willing to sit with yourself and be honest, whatever that look like, just do it. A lot of us ain't even doing
Okay.
that. Just do it.
Well, that's true too. That is true. All right, y'all. Just do it.
Just do it. Now don't be getting like pissy drunk and stuff and then want to
And
go,
that's what I mean.
yeah, waving the book around to everybody because you're drunk, but hey, everybody healing process different. So
Yeah.
I'm
Just
just
do it to where
this.
it works.
To where and people say, like, how do you know when it work? You know when it work when you can have a conversation about it and you ain't got to run from the conversation. That's
Yeah.
when you know it's working. You ain't got to run. Somebody can come and pick and poke at you and ask you conversations about that thing that happened. Where did he touch you? Where was y'all at? What did it smell like? None of those things should phase you. It's still like it make me feel icky and a little disturbing to think that that could happen to a innocent little girl. Okay, but it's not. It
Mm.
doesn't take over me anymore. I took my power back because he was a pervert. He was nasty. It wasn't my fault. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing to deserve that. We just live in an ugly world full of ugly, messed up people. So sometimes,
So,
unfortunately, we're victims.
since we brought up this perverts and molestation and being touched inappropriately, what would you say? Because I know some folks. What would you say to women specifically, well, no, women and men who haven't dealt with this yet, like just moved on in life and just don't talk about it?
I would say, and this is hard, I would say that pay attention to your sexual appetite and also your sexual patterns and maybe what you like or don't like in terms of, intimacy, because people who haven't dealt with the fact that that they were molested or touched inappropriately, usually that follows them to the bedroom, whether they consciously realize it or not. So I would say that's going to be the first step, is pay attention to that. Because some people might find themselves to be more promiscuous, promiscuity. A lot of women who were promiscuous were touched inappropriately as young girls. You know what I'm saying? Same vice versa. Also as men, you have some. I've had. I'm a supporter of the LGBTQ community. I've had women who've come who are stud, and it's in addressing some of the things that they need to deal with. They don't like men because they were forced to give fellatio at a young age. So now it's not that they don't find men attractive, or not that they would even want to do anything with a man, but it's like the fact that I had to do that young, now she's a stud. So it's like, it's almost trying to be them because maybe psychologically she felt like they was in control, and this is now how she can have control. Like, I've seen and heard a lot. So you got to pay attention to your sexual desire, your sexual appetite, your sexual patterns. And if it's something about it that you don't like or you're not comfortable with, you might want to deal with the molestation or the rape or the inappropriate thing that happened.
Wow. I never I never thought about it that way. Specifically, really, I guess because I never really had to. Um, so that's an interesting part
The
of
mind,
the
the mind. What we have to
yes.
understand about the mind is that whenever the mind is a sponge, and it's like a sponge. Anything that goes into your mind, which is the sponge, it doesn't go out. So, like, you know how a real sponge, you put water in it, you could squeeze the water out. Over time, the water will dry up, but then it's a dry sponge. Our brain, it stays wet with everything that has ever happened in your life. So if you were
Mhm.
6 years old being molested or being touched inappropriately, your brain did process that. The sponge processed that. What happens is you think you just move on and you don't deal with it, or the right steps weren't taken. So now you got the thoughts and the feelings that existed at the time when the molestation happened. Remember, the brain is a sponge. Not only is it a sponge, but it's like there's a part of the brain that's there to try and protect you. So then you going through life and boom, you go through something. The thing that you think and feel is similar to what went into the sponge when you were 6. If no one ever talked about those thoughts and feelings for the 6-year-old, even if you're 26, the 26-year-old is going to go back to 6. And whatever that response looks like is going to be rooted in what happened when you were 6, because that's what the brain does. Now, the process has to happen where you realize, when I was 6, I was molested, and it made me think this. It made me feel this. So sometimes when I think this thing and I feel this thing, I then respond in this way
Mm.
because of what happened to me when I was 6. And I'm working through that. If you haven't been able to make it that situation like that, then you're just going to be on autopilot. Anytime your brain feel what that 6-year-old felt or think what that 6-year-old thought,
Yeah.
you're going to spaz or shut down or whatever it is that you did when you were 6. And it follows you throughout your life. So if you don't sit with what happened to you, then you're dealing with it in some way, and it doesn't feel good. You know, people can
Mhm.
act like it, so it doesn't feel good. You're not happy. You're not comfortable. But usually there's something else that they want, so they deal with the thing that's not comfortable. That's where generational curses come in, because then
It's
we
so
repeat it.
it's so interesting because as we speak about this, it's like when you hold on to things like that, you not on purpose go through like those 5 stages of grief, probably for a long time.
You're stuck in grief.
Wow.
Then
Do
it's
you
not.
feel?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not grieving. It's just going through the steps over and over again.
Yeah, just going through the steps. You're not actually grieving. Wow. Do you feel like there is a time limit on grief, or not even a time limit, but do you think there is a time and point where you stop grieving?
I would probably say no, just because like I think about that even now. Like, dang, so I'm gonna be like older. It's like today's Father's Day.
Hmm.
Um, he was a very hands-on father. I'm talking about extremely hands-on. And now, I mean, we get she's selective about who she likes to let access to the child, but it's like, man, it's just messed up. Would he want in his death for it to be like this with his daughter? Like, man, it's messed up. But it takes you back to that, dang, I can't believe he done died. Like, so it's gonna always be, if there's just that moment where I even now, like, I could not believe. I was telling my dad, like, if I didn't see the body, I would have convinced myself that he might have tried to fake his death, that he might still be alive. Like, it's an ongoing thing. Like, it's gonna be something, especially when you have a bond with somebody. I think it's gonna constantly be there, even years from now. My dad, his mom passed 20 plus years ago. So
Yeah.
even now you could tell it's still something that of course he's done the work, but you could tell he's still grieving. Like, Mother's Day, it's his mom. So it's an ongoing thing. That's why actually doing the work is important, so that you don't get stuck.
This is the moment where I take my deep breath in the conversation. And I notice that happens a lot, which is very interesting because sometimes the conversation get a little deep and you just
It's
got to take
deep.
that pause, you
It's
know?
Yeah, it's heavy. It's definitely heavy, especially when you haven't thought about certain things. But we got to remember, we become masters at putting on our brave face, putting on whatever face we need to put on. Like, um, it's just not working for us anymore.
How does, since you've been doing this work, since you've been a life coach, we have the workbook, your brother has passed, like, how is all of this shaping the way you continue to raise your children?
Oh my, it's making me, like, for a little bit, because I am like the black sheep, the one that pulls the crazy car. I was still a little insecure around my family. I had got away from my family, and the world loves me, right? But then within my family, there's still this thing. So I think it just helped me be more secure within my family. And when it comes to my children, not being afraid to expose them to certain realities. Because,
Hmm.
like, for my oldest, his uncle passing was not easy at all. Still isn't easy for him. But it's been an opportunity for me to be like, told you, son, because you're gonna be a knucklehead sometimes. You don't want to listen to your mama. And now I can say, because people say I can be a little harsh. I say, well, it's my brother. If I'm talking about somebody else's brother, I wouldn't say like, oh, your brother dropped dead. But that was my brother. He dropped dead 3 days after my birthday unexpectedly. So that's as real as it gets. So I'm telling
Yeah.
my children all the time, like, I can drop dead, you can drop dead. It could have been any of us that just dropped dead. I'm using that as part of my narrative in terms of teaching the lesson and the importance of the lesson. Because I can just say something, but kids, my children think I'm extra anyway, and I probably am. But you have to be, because people are dropping dead. Okay. Life is hard. The economy is getting worse. The people are crazy. Like, it's all type of stuff going on. So it just helps me to, like, use the things that we've gone through and be like, here's the reason why. I don't even have to explain too much no more, because we done got so much real stuff that didn't happen, in our
Yeah.
lives. I just use it to enforce the reality so that they can understand why, moving with strategy is important. That's my biggest thing. Just move with strategy, paying attention to and factoring in whatever it is that you got to factor in.
Moving with strategy is definitely important, and that's something we all need to figure out how to do and or do if we're not doing it already.
Period. ASAP. ASAP.
Right. Let's get to it. Get your shit together.
Get your and order that book. I'll order that book if you're really ready to do it.
How do we find you? How do we tag you? How do we get this book?
So my website is www.blacktionplan.com. It's BLACKTION plan.com. And all of the information is on there. Once you start scrolling on the website, a pop-up will come up that will allow you to get a sneak peek of the book. And just because it comes with a virtual life coach, which I think is cool, so that you're not like in it all the way by yourself. You're going through the book. And you have your virtual life coach that's walking you through the book, encouraging you through the book. And you hear other people as they go through the book. So the sneak peek gives you that, shows you how to order, all the good stuff. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Blacktion Plan, BLACKTION plan. And my TikTok, because where I cut up at, but my TikTok is Miss Blacktion 88. I do cut up on my TikTok. Miss Blacktion 88, MISSBLACKTION 88. So
I need to see you cut up. So
and then let me give a disclaimer. I'm only saying stuff on TikTok to trigger things that are happening in the Black community. So I'm calling out baby mamas and Black mothers. I'm saying all the things that erupt people, because it's like, if I say something and it bothers over 1,000 people, me saying it isn't the problem. Obviously, somebody in the world feels the type of way, and it's something that has to be addressed. So my TikTok is where I go test things out that my mind tells me. And my mind tells me, people's response tells me that my mind is on the right track. This stuff is crazy, it's insane, and it's something that needs to be fixed. So charge it to my head, not to my heart, y'all. Anyway.
Okay, you know what? Before we go, I would like you to challenge somebody.
Who's gonna be challenged?
No, like this is your TikTok. I want you to challenge the community. So what you got to say?
You really want to do that?
Yes, but this is how we end in the podcast today. We're gonna end it this way.
We're gonna challenge people who grieving. I want to challenge. Yep, you want to take me there? Yeah, because I got some stuff on my heart today anyway, because it's Father's Day. And y'all know my brother has passed, and we have inherited his baby mama. Which shout out to his baby mama, because I know she's doing the best that she can. But one of the things I want to challenge women. I always love challenging women, but especially Black women. Oh, because Black women, y'all love coming for me. And I'm not a pick-me. I love myself and I love women. She's not even a Black woman at the end of the day. So she's just a woman. Women, we do a lot of things because we're emotional, right? And I would just like to challenge women to stop claiming that you protecting your children when really you just being controlling. That's the challenge. You just controlling and you using things because of what you think or what you feel, and when it comes to grief and grieving, let's throw this in there, because baby mamas, oftentimes what we'll do is get involved in people's family drama because we got a baby with them. I have 2 baby daddies. Whatever my baby daddy's family's got going on, I want my kids to be in the mix. Go see what your generational curses is, baby. Go see what they got going on over there. They want to talk bad about my children to me. They have and did that. And like I tell my children, because they're raggedy. I don't even have to let y'all see these people at the end of the day. And they're going to take the time they spend with y'all and talk about me. They've discouraged the kid. Not me. A lot of women need to stop, like my brother's baby mama, trying to get involved in family drama, because her thing is, me and my brother wasn't close. Me and my brother had a toxic relationship, but she wants to use that as a justifiable reason to, hold my niece hostage. So I would just challenge women, like, don't use your emotions as a reason to be like, oh, I got to protect my kid. Nobody worried about you, sis. You're putting more on yourself. And Understand that when people die and people pass on, women don't take that as an opportunity to be like, oh, F the family and being selective about who matters. Like be a woman, operate from a place of love, because at the end of the day, it could be your baby daddy or somebody in your baby daddy family or anything. So I would just challenge women to woman up, muscle up, and quit being weak. Quit saying I'm protecting my baby, when really you're just being controlling. You're just being controlling because you don't like the fact that you were challenged. And she ultimately didn't like the fact that she was challenged. And so now she's using her emotions to control and protect.
Well, world, y'all heard it live from Coach Mimi. Okay. In the form of grief, stop being controlling. Baby mama specifically.
Baby mama
Just
specifically.
stop.
And even
Just
mamas,
stop.
a lot of people do it. They'll use grief. Oh, my son died. My this died. No,
Yeah.
you just want to be able to control the situation, and you're using your emotions as a justification as to why you think you can control it. And that's not right. You're wrong. And you weak. And that's it.
Oh, um, thank you for being so open and so real, and for doing, yes, and just for doing the necessary work out here for our community, because it's definitely needed. And I hope that we listen and we get the book and do the work. But I know
I'm looking
just telling
forward
the
to you
story.
you doing the work. You got the book.
I ain't telling you when I do the work.
Log into the portal, and you got your little virtual life coach. Do the work. Do the work.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let you know how it goes too.
Yes, let me know how it go. Let me know how it go. Y'all sit with it. And this is good. Thank you for doing this, because this was good. This is even good for my grief. You gotta grieve out loud, for real. You really do.
You do, and we
And
don't
rest
do
in
it
peace to my
enough.
brother. Look, rest in peace, Tim.
Timothy,
Timothy, yes.
Timothy, rest in peace, Timothy.
Yes. Can y'all see?
Your brother was fine.
I'm telling you, my brother fine. And let me tell you something. You know how many women, even including that messy baby mama, called? I was with your brother 2 days before he died, 3 days before he died. He had really started figuring out that these women only wanted to control him. And in his last days, I was proud to
Yeah.
hear he went out like a true, what they call bachelor. Okay. He went out like a true
Lord.
bachelor. All these chicks, she said, I was with your brother just 24 hours before he died. Oh, I was with him 3 days. One girl said he came in the dead. She said, your brother came and visited me after he died. And I'm not lying. I'm not lying about this stuff either.
Well, your brother did what was necessary.
He did what he did, honey. And he
He
died
did
like
what was
the
necessary.
champ that he is. So let's celebrate him.
Oh man, Coach Mimi, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I want the people to remember I'm not your teacher, but I've learned a lot from my journey. Remember, the How You Grieving Podcast is just where we share real stories, real pain, and real healing.
Period.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.